So, I want to go back to the email written by the unnamed sniper that wrote this. Things erupted. Well, Ronald Rowe has since become the acting Secret Service director, as we just saw. He appeared before senators on Tuesday, calling the assassination attempt a failure of the agency. Things erupted, as we saw with Senator Josh Hawley. I'm going to play some of that press row on why certain individuals had not been relieved of duty. The acting director responded, "I will tell you, Senator, that I will not rush to judgment, that people will be held accountable, and I will do so with integrity and not rush to judgment and put people unfairly prosecuted." The unnamed counter sniper said in the email that his team was viewed by many as guys who sit on the roof and don't do much, but stressed that the Secret Service responsibility was not to protect an empty White House located at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, but to prevent and stop another JFK-style assassination in whatever city that may be. Sadly, we've fallen short for years. We just got lucky and looked good doing it. The email said it added that the individuals had conveyed these thoughts to both supervisors and training teams who brushed off his concerns as if those with less experience somehow knew more than me. The team I was once proud to be part of is something I have to now somehow hide as I move into my next career, the email read. Who wants to hire U.S. Secret Service counter sniper guy who failed? That's the public perception I'm now faced with. The U.S. Secret Service counter sniper team is a stain I will never be able to cleanse. Multiple investigations into the assassination attempt are ongoing. And that was the email from this sniper, who obviously is quite upset because this is an organization that, as is reported, failure is just not an option. Failure is not an option in this business, and it's something that this poor guy, and I feel bad for acting director Ronald Rowe. He has to answer for perhaps the failures of the previous boss, Kimberly Cheadle. But is this endemic to this organization? Is the whole organization bad? Is it rotten from the head of the fish down? This is Josh Hawley, and he always gets contentious in his questioning, no matter who he's questioning. So let's play a little bit of this here.
We're not a Secret Service counter sniper on that roof.
So, Senator, we're when we post up, our methodology is to look at things that can see in on our protectees, so that they can provide that coverage.
But why is there not a Secret Service counter sniper there with clear line of sight? That roof has a clear line of sight to the former president. Why didn't you put a Secret Service counter sniper there?
The Secret Service's counter sniper role is to neutralize those threats that are looking in on us from where the protectee is, not necessarily.
You think maybe you might want to revise that protocol in light of what happened here?
They were protecting the principal, and I think
the principal got shot.
Understand that, sir.
So do you think you might want to revise the protocol? Let me ask you this. Who was the lead site agent who made the decision to leave the AGR building completely outside of the security perimeter? Who was that?
Senator, I cannot give you that name. This person is operational. They're still doing investigations. They're still doing protective visits.
Have they been relieved of duty?
Senator, they have not been relieved of duty.
I know their name, by the way. Why have they not been relieved of duty?
They are still cooperating, not only being interviewed by the FBI, but also by our Office of Professional Responsibility. And we will let the facts of the mission assurance and any further investigations play out.
Isn't the fact that a former president was shot, that a good American is dead, that other Americans were critically wounded, isn't that enough mission failure for you to say that the person who decided that that building should not be in the security perimeter probably ought to be stepped down?
Senator, I think you're using the word decided, and I think we need to allow the investigation play out to include.
So who did make the decision then? If it wasn't the lead site agent, who made the decision not to put that in the security perimeter?
Senator, you're zeroing in on one particular agent. I want to find out exactly what was the entire decision process. So I think I want to be neutral and make sure that that we get to the bottom of it and interview everybody in order to determine if there was more than one person who perhaps exercised bad judgment.
Well, sure. My question is, why don't you relieve everybody of duty who made bad judgment? So yeah, you're right. I am zeroing in on somebody. I'm trying to find somebody who's accountable here.
And
you're telling me that the person who made the decision not to include this in the perimeter has not been relieved of duty. What about the person who's in charge of the interoperability of radio frequencies between local law enforcement and Secret Service? Has that person been relieved of duty?
No, Senator, because interoperability is a challenge, is a greater challenge than just one person. On that day, we had a counterpart system. It failed.
As the person who made the decision to send Donald Trump onto stage knowing that you had a security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir, they haven't.
Has the person who decided not to pull the former president off of stage when you knew that, in your words, the locals were working a serious security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir. Again, I refer you back to my original answer that we are investigating this through a mission assurance. And as opposed to zeroing in on one,
what more do you need to investigate to know
exactly what the decision-making process was?
Investigate to know that there were critical enough failures that some individuals ought to be held accountable? I mean, what more do you need to know?
What I need to know is exactly what happened, and I need my investigators to do their job. And I cannot.
A lot of people didn't do their jobs.
I cannot put my thumb on the scale. Otherwise,
what do you mean put your thumb on the scale?
You're asking me, Senator, to completely make a rush to judgment about somebody failing. I acknowledge.
You know, I think what the public wants, and I think what Senator Hawley here wants, is that I think the Secret Service probably could have assessed who had the most responsibility for the screw-ups that day. And of course, the very top of the Secret Service, which was Kimberly Cheadle, the former director